What's up, YouTube? Your boy back once again with another sport topic, and today we're going to talk about the Houston Texans offseason plans, lack thereof, what they're going to do, what haven't they done. At the time of me doing this video, a lot of people have been doing stuff. Cleveland just traded for Jarvis Landry. The Eagles, let's put this into perspective now. The Eagles win the Super Bowl with a backup quarterback who should have been the MVP, led the league in touchdowns until he got hurt. Well, actually led the league in touchdowns, period, even after he got hurt. It would have been the MVP if he didn't get hurt. They win the Super Bowl with their backup quarterback. They have to loading up their defense, getting Bennett, getting corners, they trade out here doing this. They don't have to do anything. They just won the Super Bowl without their quarterback. All they gotta do is keep their roster the same and plug their new quarterback in. Plug their quarterback back in. They should be in a prime spot to repeat or at least be back in the playoffs. The Rams, who have made the playoffs, out there making moves. And as of right now, the Texans have done nothing. Now, free agency doesn't start, the legal tampering period doesn't start until Monday. Can't sign people until the 14th. So, the only people you can sign is people who are not on teams already, people who've been cut. If you've been cut or you weren't on the roster, you can sign anytime. But people whose contracts get expired, whose contracts are up, they can't be signed until after, they can't be signed until the 14th. They can be in talks from the 12th on, the legal tampering period, but then the 14th, that's when they can actually sign. So, maybe the Texans are waiting on that. But I'm going to talk about the Rams a little bit. Because yesterday they traded for Talib. Last week they traded for Peters. Earlier this week they franchise tagged Joyner. Now, I knew when the season ended, and I looked at that both Joyner and Tremaine Johnson both were going to be free agents this year. I knew that Tremaine Johnson was not going to be a Ram unless he absolutely wanted to be a Ram. Unless he absolutely wants to stay in LA and he'll take a pay cut, he wasn't going to be a Ram because I knew they weren't going to franchise tag him a third time. The reason why I knew they weren't going to franchise tag him a third time, because you franchise tag somebody, they get a percentage of the highest paid player of that position. When you franchise tag them the third time, they get what quarterbacks make. So he would have been in the 20s. They weren't going to pay him that. But they could franchise tag Joyner. And they still have to leave salary cap space open because they have to give Aaron Donald a deal. Aaron Donald, Clowney, the linebacker from the Rams. Not from the Rams, from the Raiders. Khalil Mack. Guys are all going to be due at the same time. Now, like I said, it's not who's the best player. It's always the last person to get signed. The first person to get signed always going to make the list because they agents just say, well, this player got this. My player has done this, so he deserves more. So Aaron Donald and Mack are both their agents are going to wait until Clowney's agent gets Clowney a deal because both of them have been defensive player of the years. Clowney has been hurt for the majority of his career. And has had 2 Pro Bowl seasons, 1 All-Pro season. These guys have been Pro Bowlers plus All-Pros plus Defensive Players of the Years. So they're going to be more deserving of money. So Aaron Donald they gotta make sure they keep money for Aaron Donald. So they can't waste money on Tremaine Johnson. And it's easier to replace corners than it is to replace Joyner because they are, and if the trade talks would have went south with the Chiefs and with the Broncos, then they probably would have tried to find a way to keep Tremaine Johnson. But they get Peters on a rookie deal, and then get somebody that's already under contract, so they ain't got to worry about it. And they could probably restructure his contract, whatever the case may be. I think he's under contract for 2 years to leave. They can restructure his contract, and they're able to have the money for Aaron Donald. Also have the money for Joyner, because I'm pretty sure they're going to want to extend Joyner. They don't want to play Joyner on that franchise tag. They want to do something. But at least by franchise tagging them, what the Texans did last year with AJ, you eliminate other teams from talking. Can't nobody else talk to him but you, unless you want to deal them like Miami just franchise tagged Jarvis Landry and trade him to Cleveland. Now just think about this: Cleveland has the second round pick, and has the first pick in the draft, has the fourth pick in the draft. They have Flash Gordon. They got Jarvis Landry. Like Kirk Cousins said it was as out of the Vikings, the Jets, the Cardinals, and was there another one? I know for a fact the Jets and the Vikings, the Cardinals. Is it a fourth one? I don't remember if it's a fourth one, but I know Cleveland was supposed to be out. You might want to rethink that, bro. You might want to rethink that because Cleveland got some stuff, and you can get Stephon Barkley. You can. Cleveland got some stuff. Now Cleveland. It's funny to say Cleveland, but Cleveland got some stuff that you might want to listen to. You might want to look at right now. Cleveland might. It all depends on what they do with their quarterback position. We all know that Cleveland, Ohio is where quarterbacks go to die when it comes to the Cleveland Browns. But Cleveland got some talent. Don't get twisted. Cleveland really got some talent. Corey Coleman can't catch, but Cleveland got some talent. And I like Corey Coleman. Cleveland got some talent. Who knows? Terrell Pryor might end up back in Cleveland too. They might have some. Cleveland got some talent now. But that's a whole nother video topic. We talking about Houston or what affects Houston. Everybody know I am a fan. I want us to go after Jermaine Johnson or Malcolm Butler. Both if you could, but you can't afford both because you need to do something with the offensive line. That's why I'm like Jermaine Johnson, EJ Gaines, like. And now Hopkins out because Richard Sherman got released. Now Hopkins out there saying Instagram say bro, remember we had this conversation. Like maybe we should let Hopkins be the general manager because according to Hopkins, we would have signed everybody. We would have signed Butler. We would have signed Jimmy Graham. We would have signed. We would trade it for Talib. We pick up Richard Sherman off of waivers. Like he out here making money moves. We might as well call him Carly B. He out here making money moves, like Carly B say. Like that's gonna be his new nickname, Carly B. Like he out here making money moves. He out here really out here trying to recruit, trying to tell Brian gangs. Do like the little things, that little stick poking stuff. Do something. Hey, you do something. Do something. I'm laying it out for you right now. So that's what Hop doing. So will the Texans do anything? What kind of moves will the Houston Texans make come the 12th? Will we be able to? Will we talk to Malcolm Butler? Will we talk to Jermaine Johnson? Will we talk to EJ Gaines? Will we talk to Noah World? Will we talk to some of these players? Will we talk to Graham? A lot of people want Graham, and I know CJ said he's coming back for OTAs. Will the Texans allow him to come back? Not to mention, Ryan Griffin got concussion issues too. So does Steven Anderson. Steven Anderson got concussed twice this year. Like. You might be looking at, Graham ain't New Orleans say Graham, but you like 2 hits away from not having no tight ends on this roster. Like none. Like none at all. People were talking about Jarvis Landry to Houston, like some Houston fans wanted Jarvis Landry. I've heard Sammy Watkins brought up. Darren in the Texans too, but he's a big component. He wants Houston to go after Martavis Bryant. I like the combination of Fuller and Hopkins, but we do need some in that slot. I like Bruce Ellington. I'm hopeful. I want us to do more with Braxton Miller. I like Braxton Miller as a person, so I want Braxton Miller to do something. Like I like them coming out of Ohio State, but as a wide receiver. I like you cool and all, but you ain't really done nothing. I think that's more so Bill O'Brien not using them properly because he's like an enigma. I don't know what to do with Braxton Miller, but this is what I think. Like, and I've also Tavon Austin. I've heard that name thrown out there too because the Rams are going to let go of Tavon Austin. Now as a receiver, Tavon Austin really ain't doing nothing. But maybe we need help in the return game. Maybe do something with Tavon Austin as a returner. I'm an opponent that if we get people on minimum deals, you can get all these people out there, all these guys, and put them out there in one field and like battle, like do something, make me think that you can be a slot receiver, or we need help as a slot, we need help as a returner. Battle and try to see which one can figure out if y'all can do one of them. I don't really care. So if you can bring in these guys on reasonable deals, like I ain't trying to throw no money at none of them really, even Sammy Watkins, because like I remember during the draft process of Hopkins, people were foaming at the mouth. These draft experts were foaming at the mouth for Sammy Watkins. I was never blown away by Sammy Watkins at all. First round pick. Even when he was in Buffalo, not really. And I had him on my fantasy team last year as a third option. And with the number one scoring offense, some games he showed up, some games he didn't. And that was the number one scoring offense last year in LA. Some games he did some. I mean, it was a game. Some games he put up 100 yards with 2 touchdowns, and some games he had 1 catch for 10 yards or 1 catch for 5 yards. Remember, I had him on my fantasy team. I seen all his numbers last year. I mean, Cooper Kupp was out there hooping last year. So maybe he could do better with a Clemson quarterback with Deshaun Watson. The pressure be off him because you'll be have Hopkins and then you have Will Fuller. I actually think Martavis Bryant would be way more suitable for the Texans than Sammy Watkins. But I think Martavis Bryant, Brian wants to be the guy. And in Houston, he's not even going to be the second guy. Like, it's like the guy's Hopkins without a shadow of a doubt. And then Will Fuller has somewhat of a fan base, especially after that 4-game stretch he had with that 4-game stretch he had with Watson. He has somewhat of a fan base. So, and this is the same coaching staff that drafted him. And remember, Bill O'Brien recruited Will Fuller to Penn State. And Will Fuller decided at the last minute to go to Notre Dame. Because, even though Bill O'Brien had nothing to do with that Penn State was under sanctions. They couldn't go bowl games, couldn't go championship games. So, even if you went undefeated, you wasn't going to accomplish nothing. So, it was a better move to go to Notre Dame. That's the reason why he went to Notre Dame. It wasn't like he was ducking Bill O'Brien. He made the decision because he wasn't going to be able to do nothing at the University of Penn State, because at that time they didn't know when the sanctions or if the sanctions would ever be taken off, ever lifted. And eventually they were, but they didn't know that coming in. So that's the reason why he went to Notre Dame. So Bill O'Brien has a love for Will Fuller. He does. He has an infatuation for him because he recruited him coming out of high school. So he really going to give him every opportunity he can to shine. Every opportunity he can shine. Because, there's always a narrative that Bill O'Brien hates rookies. That's the reason why Deshaun Watson didn't start. But Will Fuller started game 1. The only rookie in NFL history to have 100 yards in back-to-back games is rookie year. I mean, only receiver to have 100 yards in his first two games. Because back-to-back games, he had 100 yards in 1 and 2. So he's going to give Will Fuller every opportunity. So Will Fuller is going to be the number 2 option. So if you did bring in any other receiver, at best, they're going to be the 3rd option unless something happens. At best, starting off. So they would have to know that coming in. And that's, even though I would like Martavis Bryant, I think he could fit on this team because of the Deshaun Watson factor, because of the whole Clemson and all that type of combination. And I think they could ball together. But I don't think he would want to be here because he's going to be a 3rd option. But our offense outside the offensive line, which that's when it comes to offense, that's what we need to fix first, is the offensive line. I have my issues with Lamar Miller, but with the offensive line is more important, at least via free agency, because we can deal with running back in the draft. I mean, there's a but a lot of signs are saying that we have to Nick Chubb. I'm cool with that. Nick Chubb's a big dude. I'm cool with bringing in Nick Chubb. But I think what these teams are doing via outside of before free agency period starts, the aggressiveness, like these playoff teams are being aggressive, while the Texans, who could have been a playoff team if you had better depth or if your quarterback would stay healthy, with a new GM, they seem like it's the same old stuff. They seem like they're just sitting on their hands and watching everything go by. Now, we don't want another 2016 offseason when you throw a whole bunch of money at 17, a whole bunch of money at Miller and Allen, and that one guy from Oakland, the offensive lineman for Oakland, who ain't never played a snap. But we signed him, though. He was brought out there with Lamar Miller and Jeff Allen like he was this big prize free agent. He ain't do nothing. He ain't even play. He ain't played not one snap. But we signed him, though. Now, he was offensive lineman. I think he was a guard. And the only person out, the best free agent out of that class is Lamar Miller. And a lot of people, myself included, look at Lamar Miller like, So, and that's the best guy. So that right there shows me and tells me that that was a horrible free agency class as far as the money that we put for in that free agency class. And I see that, even though this is not free agency, but I just see that, which guy just got a new deal? Now I just see. Whoa. It's funny, I just speak of Tavon Austin and on Instagram I see a post that the Texans are looking at bringing in Tavon Austin to camp. That's crazy. But I just see the guy from used to play for Texas A&M. Now is Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He just got a deal, a receiver. I forgot his name just that quick. But what can the Texans do? Because they just sitting on their hands. And you don't want to throw stupid money at people. What could they do? What can they do? What should they do? Because we see everybody here being aggressive before the free agency period hasn't even started yet. Because all this other stuff is just rumors. Because can't nobody officially talk to nobody. Even though we know people do talking outside, like when they're not supposed to. But officially, they can't really talk to nobody. These are all rumors and reports and people just throwing stuff to the wall hoping that it stick. But these trades and these cuts are official. I know we don't have a lot of draft equity. But to leave goes away for a 5th round pick, we got three 3rd round picks. Plus we got 2 twos next year. Do something. Do something. Do something. Because if you just sit on your hands and watch everything go by, it's going to be the same old thing next year. We'll be just going to depend on Deshaun Watson. I guess that's the plan. Might as well hire Hopkins to be a general manager because at least he'd be out here trying to be aggressive. But again, who knows? Maybe when the free agency period start, they'll be aggressive after people who contracts expire like Gaines and Norwell and Butler and Jermaine Johnson. Maybe they'll be aggressive when they can actually talk to people who are actual free agent targets. But people who are under contract, they're not after. So who knows? We're going to see. We're going to see what happens when the free agency period starts. So like, share, subscribe if you haven't. Comment below if you haven't. Click that bell to get more videos. I holla.